Initiating rear talk. Defining rear talk. Talking in the rear, from the rear. Speaking out of the rear without being judged. You've heard the expression, speaking out of your ass. In other words, this podcast talks about anything and everything. Buckle up, get ready. We're going to have some fun. Finally, an uncut, uncensored, real, raw podcast. No matter what the topic, we'll cover it.
Without hesitating.
Welcome to Rear Talk. Here's your host, Traé.
Hello. How's it going, guys? Hi, I'm your host, Traé. Happy to have you guys on the show. And you know what? We're going to have a good one today. Yeah. So here I go. So tonight, I was talking to a great friend of mine, and we're going to be talking about self-love. All right, check this out. You guys know my MO. I don't waste no time. I jump right into it. So I was talking to a great friend of mine tonight, and we discussed how self-love was an issue for her. You know, I sensed during that conversation, she had a low self-esteem, which is attached to recent events that happened in her life. So I try to fill her back up, and I realize lots of you guys out there feel the same way. This was kind of a common, conversation I had with several people, so many people that I decided, you know what, I need to go ahead and just create, an episode for this. So like I said, I filled her back up. But again, there are certain things you tell people, they get it, they're hearing you, but they're not processing what you're saying. So let me tell you this, first of all. Self-love is major to self-fulfillment. You have to learn to love yourself. Love me for who I am and love myself, my life, for what it is. You see, sometimes we don't even know that we are not loving ourselves because we think, if I'm not saying negative things to myself every day, therefore I'm one of those people who, love themselves. And sometimes you don't even know why you're doing it, or you don't even know that if you're doing it. So let me tell you this. First of all, ain't nothing nice out there. Because when you go out of your door every single day, there are people ready to break you. So you have to understand, you have to wear the armor from your home, which include prayers and also whatever you need to do in order to actually get yourself in a position or in a mindset where you have nothing but positive thoughts about yourself. Because like I said, as soon as you open that front door or that back door, people will break you. And they will break you only if you allow it. Again, people would do whatever they want to you as long as you allow it. So you guys know by now that, like I said, I'm a manager for a franchise restaurant business. I manage about 8 stores, 8 restaurants, if you want to put it that way. I would say pre-COVID wise, we were probably give or take about 325 employees if you combine everything together. Do you think I worry about what people think of me? I'm sure you understand that not everybody would love to see Traé being in charge, on top, calling the shots and things like that. But do you think I lose sleep over that? Do you think every morning when I leave my house, I'm just going out there and say, well, oh my God, I wish, none of these guys come at me with something that, they dislike about me? No, I don't. I don't, because I have self-love. I have self-love. And the journey to get to that level is something that you have to do for yourself, because no matter what you are being told or no matter what somebody does for you, self-love is internal. It's something that you have to process from the dome to your body, from your brain to your body. So that is something you need to understand from the get-go, and you're going to have to put some work in. I understand that from the time you leave your house, they are out there to break you. And I'm not saying, everybody is a negative person. I'm not saying everybody's out there to get you, but the majority of people will try to break you. So you have to understand it's very important you wear the armor of self-love before you leave your house every single day. You have to love yourself for who you are. You have to love yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to love your life for what it is. And like I said earlier, sometimes we don't even know that we are not loving ourselves because we think we're not saying negative things to ourselves. Therefore, you're not one of those people who don't love themselves. That's wrong, Frodo. That's wrong. When you don't love yourself enough, you validate others rather than validating yourself. You validate others by your comments, your action, rather than seeing the value in you. For example, I'm going to give you an example in terms of relationship. You can get so caught up in loving someone that you depend on the love to fill you up and make your day. So there are cases where you love that person so much that when a person is not doing well or when a person is not around you, your life is all messed up. And you need that person to make your day. When they're upset, you are. When they're not around, your day is salty. You depend so much on them that your life becomes incomplete if you don't have the validation from those people. Most of that behavior happened especially during breakups, when someone's life is completely ruined because they put all they got into that relationship and into the other person. They were completely dependent of that person, love to function. Let me remind you, you have beauty in you, but you're not acknowledging it enough. You have beauty in you, but you're not acknowledging enough, and you're letting other people's opinion define who you are. You are letting situation and life events define who you are. You know, somebody told me, actually, I read it somewhere, and then I had a discussion with someone else. The version of me in your mind is not my responsibility. So what that means is the way you picture me or the way you judge me or the way you see me, that's your issue. That is not up for me to redefine that. So if you see me as a good person, great. If you don't, that's on you. Because if you don't take the time to know me, my character, my person, and make your opinion from there, then that's on you from being prejudiced. But it's really important that you do not let situation, life events, and other people's opinion define who you are. Okay? I'm here to tell you, both people's opinion and life events and situation are here to stay. That's just a reality. There is never going to be a time where your life's going to be perfect. You're going to get paid at $2 million a year. You're not going to have any family issue. Your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your significant other is going to be super happy. Life is great. Your bill's going to be all paid. Your car's going to be working fine. Your grass is going to be cut greener than the neighbors. It's not going to happen. And why it's not going to happen? Because that's how life works. It's nothing personal. It's not that you are the unluckiest one. It's not that some people are out there setting you up. It's just the way life is. So those situations are here to stay. And what can you do about it? You have to learn to navigate. You have to learn how to fishtail between those situations. You can't base your life on what people think. And this is the perfect statement to this. One of my favorite. Lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. Lions don't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep. Think about a lion walking around and concerned about who criticizing him or who don't like him. I mean, it just don't make sense. I know right now you're listening, your mind can't even picture a lion being affected by the opinion of zebras, giraffes, and whoever else is out there. He won't even be the king of the jungle. So life will happen to you. That's a fact. It's how you react to it that makes all the difference between learning a lesson or practicing the science of insanity, as I call it, meaning keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result each time. So let me school you on some tips and things I understood throughout my journey. Number one, people will judge you regardless. People will judge you regardless. It don't matter if you got the best job, the best car, the best clothing, the best of everything, network, friendship, the best skin, the best body possible, the best intelligence possible. Does not matter. People will judge you. And that's just the fact of life. That's just how life functions. Think about it. Steve Jobs out there when he was creating the iPhone, what do you think people thought of his idea in the first place? Nobody, I mean, I don't assume people just jump on the idea and be like, yeah, man, that's feasible. We can wrap this up in just about a year or two. Think about the first man who even announced the idea of sending a rocket into space. What do you think the audience thought of him, of her? Understand this. People will judge you regardless. Only your self-love and purpose will shield you from falling into conforming to others' opinion. What do you mean, Traé? Stop listening to people's criticism of you. They're not your maker, never was, and never will be. So you have to understand and pick whatever that's essential into what people are telling you. And you have to listen. You have to listen very well. So not because I'm saying you don't have to listen what people are telling you as far as criticism is concerned, that doesn't mean that you have all together. So it's important to understand constructive criticism and pick the essential things out of those feedback and use that to your advantage to improve yourself. You cannot progress or evolve in life if you don't accept criticism. That's just not possible. Just like people who say, well, yeah, man, I did this all by myself. No, you don't. You need people. People are the one that makes the world go around. So you're going to need somebody to help you to get this, or someone to make that phone call here, or someone to do. Anyway, I digress. My point is, you need to stop listening to people criticism of you. They're not your maker, never was, and never will be. They're not paying your bills. They're not master of anything in your life. They're not in charge of anything in your life. They only have the power you're giving them to affect you. It goes back to my statement with the lion. Imagine if the lion depended on the opinion of everyone in the jungle. Where would the jungle be in the first place? Have you thought about that? So you need to understand that your life does not depend on the opinions of others. You have to first self-love. That way you can shield yourself from all the negativity that's going to come your way. And you can finally accept what's essential to you in terms of feedback and reject whatever is not. But you have to self-love. Self-fulfillment starts with that. It's not all the cars, the money, the woman, the activities, the friends, the travels, all that. It's not self-fulfillment if you don't self-love. That's the foundation. Number 2, stop comparing yourself to others, because that'll only sink you to deeper depths in the abyss. Comparing yourself to others only sink you deeper in the abyss of self-doubt. It'll just transform you to be a follower. Comparing yourself to others is a guaranteed path to nowhere. I'm telling you. Why are you comparing yourself to people you don't know the background? A lot of times, a lot of us look at somebody, they got a better car, so you're like, man, I wish I was these guys. Or you turn around, you see their car, you're like, well, you know what? Next year I'm gonna get that car. And you go, you get it. Ruin yourself your credit because you're buying or you're trying to do something that's above what you can afford. Why are you comparing to people you don't know anything about the background? You don't even know whether you're lusting or envy people with things that has been handed over to them, or maybe they worked their butt off to get there. Either way, if there is something you wish to change about your physical, your mental, your career, your success, your circle, your environment, put the work in and you will see the result. Put the work in and do it for you, but not because you saw some stuff and you want to be like whatever you saw. That's being a follower. That's not self-love. That's not fulfilling yourself. That's just doing something that'll just give you a temporary pleasure. Stop comparing yourself to people, because people, what they have or what they do, it's a line of life. We each have our own purpose and mission on this earth. And just because you see someone smiling every single day doesn't mean that they have a better life than you do. Just because you see someone wearing better clothes or they're all the time buying stuff doesn't mean they have a better financial situation than you. You see, you picturing and you building and imagining, fantasies in your head. Only you wrapping yourself around that. And you creating this world of fantasies where you are the least fortunate. And as long as you do that, that's going to keep you actually in the abyss. And as long as you do that, it's going to make you feel self-inferior. And as long as you do that, you're going to always lust after people, things, and things that you don't control. There are things that shouldn't be something that you lusting after. We all have a line of life. I'm not worried about buying the latest Gucci shoes that came out. Why? Because I don't need it. I have other things I can wear that makes me feel valuable to myself. Again, it's important. I used to say this all the time when it comes to comparing myself to others. I don't think I'm better than everybody, or I have, an audience of people that I am so great that these guys are way, way, way down to my ankle. No, that's the wrong thought. I do know my value. I do know my self-worth. And I'm not comparing myself to anybody because I know we all living and going by our own pace. And that is a reality you have to understand and accept that. Once you self-love, these are things that's going to come to you naturally. So you don't have to look at people and be like, you know what, by next year I want to be there. No, you have to pace your life. You have to pace your life to get there. And to get there, it means you have to have goals and objectives. And those goals and objectives needs to be well defined so you can knock them out as you go. But you're not going to just wake up and seeing someone you saw on Instagram, Twitter, and all that, and you want to make it happen overnight. You don't even know how they got there first. Maybe they got there legitimately. Maybe they did not. Either way, you can't just judge a book by its color. I think you're familiar with that statement. And it's important you don't let the glycerin, the superficial, define who you are. If there is something you wish to change about your physical, your mental, like I said, your career success, put the work in and you will see the result. I go to the gym. I go 4 times a week. I see guys bigger than me. I'm not wondering when I'm going to get there because our goals are different. I look at, first of all, the time that I have at the gym, okay, how long I can work out. I look at what I have going on before and after the gym to determine how long I can stay. I also look at what I need to put in my body in order to get to that level, which I don't want because most of these guys, they're taking supplement and they're taking things such as steroid. They're taking things that are not quite healthy. And most of these guys, some of these guys are younger than me. So they still execute certain things that I would take a little longer to actually get there. Either way, I'm not trying to be the biggest guys in the gym. That is not part of my plan or my objective. I want to get cut up. I want to get shaped up. At the same time, I look good and I know it, I acknowledge it, and I remind myself of that every day. So you got to know already what you want out of life in terms of things that you want to accomplish and things that you believe actually you can accomplish. You cannot accomplish everything. And you cannot certainly put yourself in a level of those who are not even actually part of your life. They don't even affect you. So you got to do a little self-subject situation here and figure it out, okay, does it even matter that I do this, or do I need to be on that level, and why? It has to have a reason. Do it for you. Any change you want to make about your physical appearance, do it for you. You want to lose some weight, do that for you. Not because everybody else is walking around, you seen on Instagram, everybody's got that, and that's what you want. You need to focus on yourself. You need to know what you want to look like, and you work towards it. Do your research, find out the routine, exercise, things that you need to do. If it's about your mental appearance, you want to get a little smarter, grab some books. Most people understand or don't or whatever. I'm going to tell you, you can get a free membership at the library. Go ahead and borrow some book. Start reading things that would make you smarter. Go ahead and move in a way where you're going to get the intelligence you're seeking. Get some new friends, people that are smarter than you. Change your circle. If you're running around with a bunch of people that are not evolving you, then you're in the wrong circle. You want to get smarter, run around with people that are smarter than you. And that's how you get challenged and you start getting your life together. You want to make more money, run around with people that are making more money than you. That'll inspire you, and you'll get some tips and network in regards to how to make more money. You want to do well in school? Start running around with the people that are making A's. The power of influence is real. You run around with people that smoke and lazy around all the time. You run around with 5 of them, you're going to be number 6. Guarantee. So my point is, if you're going to change something about yourself, do it, and do it for you. Put the work in and you're going to see the result. Stop letting what you see on Instagram and all these platforms affect you and thinking that you're missing out and this is where you should be. No, that's not how it works. Some of these things is fake and some of that it took work. Some of that is legit and it took work for them to get to that level. They will tell you. You see, it's human nature to see others and want to be like him. I get it, but it's not the healthy way to self-fulfillment. You need to find your lane. You need to find your place, your sense of self-love and happiness. You need to find that. So I always say that the shirt doesn't make me. I put value on the shirt that I wear, meaning I don't let superficial influence my self-love. I make the superficial look good. For example, if I'm wearing a Lacoste shirt, the Lacoste shirt is not making me. I am making the Lacoste shirt look good. And it's always been the same mindset I have. Why? Because I tailor my body and I shaped it in a way where when I wear that shirt, it makes that shirt even look good. When people look at me, they're looking at the shirt and they're looking at the man wearing the shirt. But inside that shirt, it's me. It's me making the shirt noticeable, not the other way around. Self-love. How do I feel this way? Self-love. Why do I feel this way? Self-love. Go back to the things that used to make you happy. You want to know how to self-love? Go back to the things that used to make you happy. The healthy things that used to make you happy. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not speaking of anything destructive. In order to self-love, you need to recognize your value, your worth. And you also need to do and engage in activities and hobbies that you enjoy. Like, for example, I was speaking of working out. Work out, make new friends, go to places you used not to. Dare to try new things. If there are some things that you used not to eat, try those things. If there are friends that, you used to be judgmental about because they were different, I'm speaking a good way, whether nerdy or smarter or doing things that you were not used to, as far as, let's say, going and hiking or going to mountains and things like that, horseback riding. Try those things. See what you can enjoy out of this. Discover new things. Dare to try new things. And when you do those things, you don't have time to sit around and watch people enjoying their lives because you're too busy enjoying yours. So when you try those things, it gives you a different perspective of life and it gives you a different meaning. And throughout those things, you can also find your purpose. That's why it's important to try things and not just judge a book by its color. The only time you have time to watch others is when you have no purpose or when you just have no other things to do besides work and unproductive things you do to keep yourself busy. So that leads me to my number 3 points. You need also, in order to self-love, you need to learn to be alone. I get it. That's one of the hardest things to do for all of us. I get it. I really do. And between you and I used to be this way. However, I learned the greatest change in self-transformation happen when we're alone and have time to think. So if you want to self-love, you have to have that time, that personal time, that trait time where you can sit down and really kind of dissect your life and break it down, your W's and your L's and kind of put it together. Where was I successful? Where was I not so successful? And what can I change? And what can I do better? You don't have to have your life all defined in projects and goals and objective to the teeth, to the point where you wake up every morning, you got 16,000 things to do. No, what I'm saying is you have to have some kind of line of life. You have to have that time for yourself. You have to, just like you schedule for your work and you respect that schedule, you have to schedule also time for yourself. Someone told me that, and it works. Schedule time for yourself where you just take a walk in the park. You just enjoy your favorite movie or your favorite show. Take time for yourself where you're just sitting out there and you're just thinking about your life, what you did last week, what you plan to do this week, or make those phone calls to talk to people that you enjoy the company. This is where you find a purpose. When you have time to think, you don't have time to assess yourself. It makes it difficult for you to self-love and really kind of see where you're going from where you came from. So when you have time to think and you're alone, you have time to assess yourself. Don't be so quick to hang out and want people always around you. Those are distractions, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help bring out the best of you. So being alone is actually smart. It sucks at first, but you need to go through the pain of passion before the joy of resurrection and self-transformation. I'm going to say that again. It sucks at first to be alone, but you need to go through the pain of passion before the joy of resurrection and self-transformation. When we speak of passion, a lot of you guys think that it's all positive. For example, the passion of Christ and the passion of this and that. We all see the positive. Oh, yeah, I'm passionate about this. But none of us like to sign up for the part where it's hard. Passion is also pain. Passion is also a journey into the pain. So it's important you understand going through the passion of being alone. It's going through the pain of being alone before you resurrect as a new person and you self-transform, or at least you're engaging in your journey of self-transformation. No kidding. It's like being reborn. You will see all your unproductive ways you used to indulge in. Once you're reborn, or once you go through the just being alone and really kind of thinking and really taking time to think and self-transform, it's going to be like you're just a new person, because you're going to look back and you're going to see it unproductive ways you used to indulge in. You will see useless ways you used to spend your time. You will start to see a path and the line of life, as I call it, tracing down for you. Spend time with yourself. Renew with yourself. Assess your failure and victories and change what needs to be changed about you. And move forward and upward only. Put the work in and it will pay off.
You've been listening to Rear Talk. If we feel like talking about it, we talk about it.
We talk about it.
It's kind of like eavesdropping on a private conversation, but not so private. We hope you enjoyed the show. We know we had fun. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, hook up with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and more. Check out the website at www.reartalk.com and contact us through email at businesstubeline@gmail.com. Till next time, this is Rear Talk, signing off.